You might remember Go Hyun-jung, the actress who disappeared from the industry when she got married and only came back after her disastrous divorce. After ages, it seems like the truth of what exactly went down has finally come above water. Hyun-jung was born in March of 1971, and she quickly became one of the biggest stars in the Korean entertainment industry. She kicked off her career in a pretty unusual way since she debuted as a Miss Korea runner-up back in 1989. This was a big milestone in her life since Hyun-jung didn't come from a wealthy background. Usually, those who win pageants already have some wealth established. Unlike Hyun-jung, who always lived a pretty ordinary life, becoming a runner-up in this pageant was a turning point for her, and it opened many doors, including the door to the world of acting. Winners from these contests often turn to acting, so it's not an unfamiliar road to take. However, usually they're just considered to be a pretty face, but for Hyun-jung, this was different. She was actually determined to make it big in the acting scene, and she succeeded. In 1995, Hyun-jung had her big breakout role because she landed her first role, which immediately became a major hit. She starred in the SBS drama Sandglass, which is now considered to be one of the highest rated and most legendary pieces in Korean television history. Critics loved it, but it also had the rest of Korea in a chokehold since people couldn't wait to get off from work just to watch a new episode of the drama. At this point in time, people believed she would continue to thrive since her debut was already incredibly successful. However, 1995 was a big year for her since she made another decision that would change her life completely. This is the year she decided to tie the knot to Chung Yong-jin, an extremely wealthy chaebol. At the time, Yong-jin was the vice chairman of Shinsegae Group, a South Korean department store franchise. Not only is he the heir of this company worth billions, he's also the grandson of the Samsung empire. Basically, he was loaded and probably had billions to spend on the wedding. However, with a lot of money comes a lot of responsibility, and since Yong-jin's family name was very well respected throughout all of Korea, this would only add extra weight on Hyun-jung's shoulders. Shortly after she announced her marriage, Hyun-jung revealed that she would step away from the spotlight for good. This came as a shock to many, since she had just played such a huge breakout role. Although the decision to give up her career was pretty questionable, the story of how she and Yong-jin met is actually rom-com worthy. It's said that the first time they crossed paths was in New York, out of all places, and their meeting was a pure coincidence. Hyun-jung had an event at the Winter Garden Theater and was trying to find her seat. However, at the time, her English wasn't the best, so she was really struggling. Like a gentleman, Yong-jin offered to help her find her seat, and the rest was history. Most actresses who fell in love with chaebols claim that they would have never guessed they were so wealthy, since they seemed so down to earth at first glance. They dated for 2 years and got married shortly after, when Hyun-jung was only 22. Marrying one of the richest men in Korea should come with some perks, but it seems like it only brought Hyun-jung misery. She sacrificed her career and youth to become the daughter-in-law of the most powerful empire in Korea. While this may be a dream for some, it actually became Hyun-jung's worst nightmare, which is why she filed for divorce in 2003. The world in which Yong-jin lived was incredibly brutal, and Hyun-jung suffered a lot. She has 2 children with Yong-jin, a daughter and a son. After their divorce in 2003, Hyun-jung found herself in an incredibly difficult predicament. Not only did she lose her husband, she also lost custody of both her children. To make things even worse, she was also prohibited from seeing her children, making her lose absolutely everything that was dear to her. It turns out that while she and Yong-jin were still happily married, her in-laws were absolutely vicious towards her. According to Hyun-jung, there was a big language barrier between her and her ex-husband's family. She wasn't very fluent in English, which made communicating with them very hard. It's rumored that her in-laws would purposely stick to speaking English just to make her feel excluded. Once she mastered English a little more, they'd switch to French just so that she wouldn't be able to understand them. It seems like these rumors were completely blown out of proportion by the media though, since Hyun-jung revealed this wasn't true. She appeared on a talk show back in 2009 and attempted to clear the air. Explaining the situation, she said, "I have heard people say that my in-laws spoke in English around me, but that's completely untrue. They are well-educated people and would never ostracize people in such a childish way." While she managed to clear this up, netizens still believe that Hyun-jung was never able to satisfy the needs of her in-laws. They're convinced that she was suppressed by them and looked down upon during the time she stayed with them. After 8 years of marriage, she got kicked out the door with no love, no career, and no children. The only thing her in-laws allegedly offered her was a settlement of 1.5 billion won as a way to buy her cooperation. This money wouldn't give her her career back though, considering considering her reputation was in shambles. The fact that she quit already left a sour taste in the mouths of netizens, but having the reputation of a divorced woman didn't make it any better. Despite these hardships, Hyun-jung managed to work her way up again, regaining her position as one of Korea's top actresses. This was all thanks to her lead role in Queen Seondeok, which became one of the most popular historical dramas of that time. The best part is that she didn't even have the lead role in the drama, but she still managed to stand out and steal the show. She started winning awards left and right, making her comeback a huge success. Although she was doing great again professionally, the aftermath of her troublesome marriage was still haunting her. It was rumored that her in-laws declared a ruling that banned any material related to her from appearing in their stores or projects. In other words, they allegedly attempted to make her return to the industry even more difficult than it already was. Hyun-jung's pictorials were everywhere since she modeled for tons of brands, but of course, her face was missing in the Shinsegae department stores. It's said they even went as far as replacing the model for the products she used to promote. By now, it's obvious that behind all the glitz and glam of her marriage were actually some of Hyun-jung's most hellish days. Although she managed to eventually salvage her career, the remnants of her past have never let her live peacefully. Recently, it was brought to the attention what the reason behind all of her suffering was. In a past interview, Hyun-jung shared that due to her young age, she didn't completely understand what the fuss was about marrying into a chaebol family. The issues already started when people were accusing her of being a gold digger. Elaborating on this, she said, "When I married him, there were many people saying that I was marrying him for his money and not for love." This hurt Hyun-jung because it was the furthest from the truth. She revealed that she really loved Yong-jin to the point that she didn't mind giving up her career for him. Explaining their dynamic, she added, "He had a polished sense of humor. He's a nice and really cool person. He wasn't cocky about the fact that he was powerful. He was funny and we complemented each other well." Hyun-jung even admitted that she would remarry him in a heartbeat if it wasn't for his chaebol status. Clearly, the main problem wasn't her ex-husband. It was just the fact that she couldn't live up to the high expectations that came with being a chaebol's wife. During the program, she confessed that she got married way too young and that this was the main issue. She said, "If I had learned more and had met him when I was a bit more polished, I think I would have been able to live up to expectations, but I think I wasn't able to then." After her divorce and comeback, Hyun-jung continued to thrive, even opening up her own talent company with her brother. She started picking up many different things, such as publishing her own book and even becoming a professor. She stayed away from trouble for the longest time, at least up until February 2018. Reports came out that Hyun-jung had gotten into a verbal argument with the director of Return, the drama she was filming at the time. An insider shared, "After having a big fight with the director on the set of Return, Go Hyun-jung is refusing to film. If things continue like this, whether it'll broadcast next week is unclear." The issue apparently started because they were disagreeing on which path her character would be taking. Insiders came forward with even more shocking news, claiming that Hyun-jung had physically attacked the director. While Hyun-jung denied these claims, SBS and the staff members confirmed them, which definitely wasn't a good look for her. Before you know it, she was dropped from the drama and her reputation was tarnished once again. By now, it's pretty clear that Hyun-jung's life has been a crazy roller coaster, and everything leads back to her marriage to Yong-jin. She's been doing a lot better these days, as she even played an impactful role in Mask Girl this year. In an interview, she revealed that she has no interest in putting a ring on her finger anytime soon, which is probably for the best. Her main priority is her career, as her only wish is for her children to see her on screen. Ever since the divorce, their custody was in her ex-husband's hands, but now that they're all grown up, things might have changed. Oh, were you shocked by these revelations? Let us know in the comments and we'll talk to you soon.